One of the fun things I like to do is add one thing to another. You know, it's called addition, and sometimes you get a different answer. I was talking about folk art, and with the recent passing of my brother, who I considered a folk artist, I wanted to show you some of the other folk art in my family. This painting right here was done by my mother, and she had decorated the house with a number of different paintings. And again, it's just folk art, you know, it's just like somebody wanted to paint, and they did. It's just one of my favorite paintings. It's very 70s. And it's colorful, and it's just great because my mother did it. Of course, over here is a painting that my grandfather did. This is a painting, and he gave it to me. He did this one in 1980, and in the summer of 1980, he gave it to me. And he died in December of that year, December of 1980. This is, again, the folk art. He was just fascinated with Native American culture and heritage and painted that. This one here is an early painting that Terry did. And it's, you know, he probably would have been like, ah, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But again, it's folk art, and it was a very early example. Of course, this is one of my favorites here. This is one that Terry did of Animal. The drummer from the Muppet Show. He loved the Muppet Show, and as you know, he's there. It was supposed to be Abe Lincoln. He was painting Abe Lincoln, and it morphed into Animal. But that's, you know, hey, it looks like this, it looks like that, and then it turned out to be this, which is beautiful. That's the kind of painter he was, exploratory. Create its own new thing. So I got the Townes Van Zandt, and then we have, we've got that's going on here. That's just doing that. And then I got something over there. And I enjoy it, and I love it. And as things get weirder and weirder, I'm going to bury myself in sound until my ears, the tinnitus becomes louder than the music. And then I will listen to the tinnitus. So in the background, we're going to have sort of like as a drone, we're going to have the menu for In Search Of. That'll be sort of the drone instrument. And then we're going to get the 78. It's a Harry James 78 of him doing Flight of the Bumblebee. Rimsky-Korsakov? Those two guys? No, there was one guy. And then over here we have another CRT with the continuous loop of the In Search Of song. Let's see. There we go there. Yep. And then over here, I've got a great record. This is one of my favorites. This is a Windham Hill. This is the Modern Mandolin Quartet, and they're just great. It's a bunch of folks that I remember from Bluegrass, Mike Marshall, and some other folks there. It's just a really great record. This was, I guess this is a promo copy of that. But yeah, we're going to put that on. We got the drone sort of in the background here. Turn it up a little bit. And then we're going to go here. Okay. And that's got that vibe. And we turn this up. And now we got In Search Of on here. This last piece from the Modern Mandolin Quartet was La Vida Breve by Manuel du Falla. Manuel du Falla? I don't know. Sorry. I don't pronounce things very well in any language. My favorite show. That show used to scare the shit out of me. The synthesizer sounds in that song, in that TV series from the 70s, Leonard Nimoy, used to scare the shit out of me. I love those, particularly during the Bigfoot and the ghosts and the other episodes they had. But In Search Of was a big one for me. In 1976, I was 7 years old, so it was prime time to be scared, and I was scared. But that's what I like about the cacophony of sound, because you're getting different sounds, and now you've combined them all to create a new sound, and that's what it's all about, really.
This series presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The producer's purpose is to suggest some possible explanations, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine.
We grew up in a haunted house, so the fact that the show was scary also meant that maybe there's like an answer here. Maybe watching the show I'll find out what these things are, what's going on in my house, So it was really interesting. Anyway, I could go on, but I won't.